Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 458. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Welcome back, sir.
All right. Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Brett Murdoch.
Aloha.
All right, people. Yes, I'm back, and as Brett insinuated right now, I'm back from Hawaii. I'll tell you guys more on Thursday. I'll get the bad thing out of the way first. Going there is fucking brutal. The trip there, back, absolutely brutal. Brett, that is literally the only bad thing I have to say about Hawaii.
So, for those of you who don't know, I lived in Hawaii for a couple of years. It's where I learned to tattoo. And Tony went back and visited the same island I used to live on.
Yeah, it's good stuff. By the way, they even had like actual real tattoo guys there and shit. You know, whatever. What do you call that kind of tattoo where they fucking, do that?
Tapa style.
Yeah, they offer it to us like, I'm good.
You know who learned to do that too?
You.
This guy.
Yeah.
So who can tattoo in an apocalypse? Motherfucking this guy.
Yeah, good stuff, man. So because of that, we are going to be ending the show right on time tonight because even though I'm okay now, I'm pretty sure that sleep deprivation is going to hit me. Although apparently, I think I stumbled onto defeating jet lag by accident because I was told by one of my coworkers, like, oh, you want to defeat jet lag? Don't sleep for the entire day. I did that because I couldn't sleep on a fucking plane. I couldn't sleep at all. And I 12 hours fucking awake the whole time. So last night I got like 10 hours straight. So I'm pretty sure if I get like another like 8 to 9 hours here, I'll be good. But I've been fine. And Brett, you're going to love this shit. This is hilarious, right? I go to Hawaii. Like when you're about to get sick, you feel your throat all fucked up.
Yeah.
I start feeling that, right? I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to be sick in Hawaii. I get there by the next morning, I'm feeling good, right? Usually when I go on trips, I'm fucked up the whole time because of travel to sleep difference. I had energy the entire time.
Bro, I'm telling you, Hawaii is magic. Like the ground radiates some kind of weird energy. And just to prove your point, I wake up this morning, stuffy nose, all fucked up. I'm like, yeah, here you go, New York, man. Getting into you, cause it's like I've been ingesting this cool fucking ocean air for a week. Come back to this smog-filled hellhole, and I'm all fucked up again. Ain't that something? But yeah, Hawaii's fucking dope, man. Something interesting here.
Yeah.
The word mana from video games actually came from Hawaiian.
Really? For some reason, I thought it was Japanese, but
no, it's not Japanese.
Yeah. Interesting.
Nope, it's not. It means the pervading life force that permeates and radiates from everything. Yeah. So it's basically the force, but it's called mana. And
there's also, the term Gaia that also comes from other cultures too. So it's like, it's just these sort of co-opted terms that have been used for things.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, I keep wanting to say country. Great state. Fucking awesome. I love how the fact that there's all this tropical shit around, yet I'm very aware I'm still in America. You got highways, you got strip malls and shit, Best Buy, fucking whatever, all that nonsense on there, But yeah, good stuff. Friendly fucking people, everybody. I know it's a resort, but you can tell these people are genuinely nice. Like when you go to a fucking hotel in New York and LA, yeah, they will be nice, but they're fucking assholes. Like I didn't get that sense from the Hawaiians, and they're really cool people, that was my trip. Good stuff. I probably won't be going back anytime soon because it's fucking, like I said, that trip is brutal, It's like 2 LA trips, It's nuts.
Now imagine trying to go to Japan.
Yeah, no, that's another 8 hours on top of that. Because it's 12 hours from, New York to Hawaii and then another 8 hours to Japan. I didn't realize that this trip made me appreciate how large the planet is, Like this is think about it like this, right? 12 hours to Hawaii, 8 hours to Japan, and then from Japan, if you want to go all the way back to New York, that's crazy, If the earth was flat, like these motherfuckers claim, probably wouldn't be that long,
Well, that's one of the things. I mean, I don't know if the Hawaii... it's not 8 hours more to Japan because the Earth is spherical and not.
Oh, no, I'm just basing it off what the trip said. The flight was 8 hours. That's what the trip said.
Yeah.
So, but how they go around and shit. Like for example, it's like in my mind, I'm like, why don't you go to LA
from Hawaii instead of going to Seattle, because looking at a map, it doesn't look right, but I guess it works out or whatever.
Well, the closer you go to the equator, the longer the distance takes to go on a straight line.
Yeah, it makes sense. So that's why they did that. But yeah, so that's my Hawaiian adventure. Good stuff. I went there for the Snapdragon Summit. Good time there. Since it was mostly a lot of phone guys there, a lot of phone journalists and phone influencers. I met a lot of new people because I don't cover phones, although people knew me, though. They knew me, which is kind of interesting. Like, oh, Tony Polanco, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, Jim Ryan. Yeah, I couldn't live that life, man, traveling that fucking much, Don't get me wrong, Hawaii was dope, but I'm glad to be back in Europe because you feel isolated too. It's like you're fucking 6 hours behind everybody and shit. I'm trying to get work done. But then again, being isolated is probably the point, right? That's probably the fucking point.
Yeah, that's why you would go over there, just to get away from it all, right?
Because remember, I'm there for work, so it was very tough for me to coordinate with my team who was 6 hours ahead, like behind me. But ironically enough, I was coordinating with the UK team because my 10 p.m. was their 9 a.m. So I was getting shit done. But yeah, it's just crazy that people like who were there were tired and shit. Dude, my body instantly acclimated to the fucking time, man. Go to bed by 11, wake up at 7. I was good, But then again, it would be like 5 and 1 o'clock here, which would be my normal sleep cycle because I'm like a night owl or whatever. But yeah, Hawaii was dope. And it's okay that we're vamping because we literally didn't get a lot of questions this week. There's only 4 of us, so we ain't trying to be here that long either. So let's get into it, man. And I'm just reading these as they came out, and I didn't put them in any specific order. I did edit them, though, so we did that. Logic Win starts us off. Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday to you, too, for the next hour and 23 minutes. That's the recording here. First question. I'd like to hear your opinions on the 2 most recent big changes at Xbox. Sarah Bond becoming president of Xbox and Matt Booty being promoted into a position where he is directly responsible for ZeniMax Bethesda's game quality. Before we go on, just putting it out there, I have been completely disconnected from gaming news, so I know very little about any of this. So I'll kind of let you guys take the lead here. Sarah Bond, president of Xbox, that's news. Shit. Any news?
What was she doing before that? Who is she?
She was always that black lady you saw on stage promoting the games and stuff. But now she's president of Xbox. Interesting.
Yeah, but I don't mean to be I don't know what her credentials are. Like,
well, she's worked at Xbox forever,
Well, yeah, but does anybody know what that means? Like, okay, she's president of Xbox. Like, do you know about her previous work? Do you know the direction she's going to take Xbox? Do you know her opinions or views on the technology? I don't know anything about her other than it's somebody else. Like, okay.
Yeah, well, somebody in the chat could let us know. Logic Win said she was basically Phil's right-hand woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So now, in other words, it was like if you had more than one person, sort of in head of the games division, because remember, Phil Spencer is the head of, he's not the head of Xbox. He's the head of the game division, right?
Yeah, for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Microsoft. So he got up to the top over there. So now she replaces, I don't know who she replaced.
But by the way, her LinkedIn apparently hasn't been updated yet. So this is what it says. Sarah Bond is the corporate vice president, game creator experience and ecosystem at Microsoft. In this role, she leads the Xbox division dedicated to building and commercializing products and services for game creators and partners. So there you go.
So it sounds like everybody kind of stepped up together, and very little is that going to actually change. Am I correct on that?
Probably.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she was. I mean, essentially, she was just assisting, and now she's, So wasn't Booty the head of Xbox before?
What happened?
Booty was Xbox head before, right?
I have no idea what he was doing.
No, I don't think Matt Booty was head of Xbox ever.
Oh no, it wasn't Booty. It was the other guy, the bald guy. Ah, man, I can't remember that guy's name. Yeah, Aaron Greenberg. He was the head of Xbox before, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
No, I don't think he was ever.
I think he was just a promo guy, wasn't he? He wasn't like, you know.
Yeah, he's more of a like Major Nelson type guy, but maybe like a step up from a Major Nelson, what he used to be.
So Logic wins with the info
Major
here.
Nelson was online stuff, so
yeah. Let me read this real quick. Logic wins goes, Sarah Bond was basically Phil's right-hand woman. She collaborated with Xbox's third-party partners. She also explained the concept of Game Pass to Judge Corley when the FTC tried to stop the Activision deal. So yeah, she's been pretty visible.
Yeah. Greeny is the marketing guy.
Yeah.
He's the marketing guy. So he's not going to change how.
Yeah, let me read this real quick because again, I'm just learning about this stuff too. Microsoft is reorganizing its Xbox gaming and marketing leadership. Less than 2 weeks after acquiring Activision Blizzard, Microsoft is promoting Matt Booty to president of game content and studios, including the new responsibility of ZeniMax Studios, and Sarah Bond to Xbox president, overseeing all Xbox platform and hardware work. On the marketing side, Chief Marketing Officer Chris Capicella is stepping down after 32 years of Xbox. Ooh. All right, so a little bit of a reshuffling going on.
So real quick, Logic Wins. When I was hearing about how Xbox is pivoting to take more direct control of its Xbox Studio games, is this what they were referring to in the kind of changing of positions?
All right, I guess he'll answer when he hears that. I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that. The Xbox.
There was a big old map they had of all the different changes they did. So
yeah. All right. So there you go. I don't really have any strong feelings on this, to be honest. I'm not that invested in Xbox to really care, to be honest.
I mean,
and I'm kind of with Brett. It's probably not going to change anything, fundamentally.
Well, no, hold on. Now, so I had heard some rumblings, kind of ancillary to like I didn't. I'll be honest.
Brett, Jolly Gwyn says you are correct, sir, about what you just said.
Okay. So this change of people basically signifies. So she's going to take a more hands-on approach. Right now, what's been happening is Game Pass games. I'm just going to say Redfall. What happened with Redfall is not going to happen again, and that's what we're seeing basically here. Like they were like, yeah, everybody can just make their own games, and like we'll buy studios, but we're kind of the hands-off. We're the cool stepdad. We just kind of leave you alone and don't fuck with you and buy you a new phone every once in a while. That's done. That is done. They've kind of been like, look, you guys haven't been performing as well as we'd like when we just do kind of like a new age hippie, everybody do their own thing, think tank. So we're stepping up and putting somebody in charge of generally overseeing all Xbox division games, which honestly we've talked about on the podcast needs to be fucking done. Somebody needs to be overseeing this shit.
Logic Win says Matt Booty now has the power to actually cancel bad Bethesda games.
Ooh, nice.
That's cool.
It's just this is a reorganization that needed to happen. If I'm understanding what happened correctly, because I'll be honest, like these guys' names go in one ear and out the other. But I think what I was understanding.
I don't know how Booty can do that.
Yeah,
Well, Booty used to be the head of Midway, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at the tree right here. So Phil Spencer, obviously, he's at the top. He's the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Directly under him is Matt Booty. He's the president, game content and studios. And then under him is Sarah Bond, who's the president of Xbox. Interesting. So yeah,
cool.
Phil Spencer, CEO of Microsoft Gaming. And Brett, a little bit of context here for you. Bond has been a rising star inside Xbox at Microsoft since joining in 2017, particularly behind the scenes of the recent acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Bond even appeared during the FTC meeting. Bond will now be responsible for the future of Xbox, both in hardware and software, which may include a redesigned diskless Xbox Series X next year and a hybrid console. Cool.
I gotta say,
yeah,
like I'm a nerd, right? Like I follow the sport. Y'all got the fucking trading cards. Like, respect.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I read that from The Verge, so yeah. But all this other stuff, hold on. Matt Booty.
I mean, I'm saying, like, our chat is down in. Like,
They want to know this shit.
We're questions about the executives working at the company. Like, that is a fucking deep dive if I ever heard one.
Yeah,
like,
but are you really surprised? Remember the questions we were getting during the FTC trials? These guys were way more invested than we were. You know,
that's not even that. It's just like look, man, you guys are hardcore. Like, that's something to be kind of respected. Like, you go in, right? Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I respect it.
Game recognized game.
But yeah, that's my answer. It's like I'm not invested enough in Xbox to really care about these changes or really understand it. Yeah.
Really? I mean, because you cared about, like, Redfall sucked.
Because that's a
kind of matter.
Because that's a funny story. That's why.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's drama. People like that shit.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of dying to the
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In general, it just means that they have more oversight, but like more direct oversight as opposed to going through a bunch of different other people. But also, to understand that how many people, left, in that situation, right?
Yeah.
Like they literally cut out a bunch of different roles. He retired from Bethesda, but
I hate to say it, but good, like, game companies and publishers will not, like, there's so much bloat there. That's what's causing games to cost like $100 million to develop in 10 years.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not only just because of executives, Brad. Game development is fucking expensive.
No, I know.
Plain and simple.
Look, we've kind of talked about this, like, when small teams can achieve such big things, then it can't be just that you need You don't need $100 million to develop something to get these games.
A small team is not going to develop anything even close to Cyberpunk 2077.
No, not Cyberpunk 2077. No.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like we can't just be like. I know you're not saying this directly.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, but again, that game is not.
How about Valheim?
Yeah, but again, these games are not on the level of something like a Spider-Man or a Cyberpunk or anything like that.
I'm not talking about that.
But you're making it seem that way, though. You're saying, "Oh, we don't need that much money to make good games."
Okay, not just it. There are games other than Spider-Man that cost a shit ton of money to make.
Yeah, but I doubt these.
Not every game that you throw $100 million at is a success. I'm talking about the other ones.
Okay, but just making that clear. I just don't like this idea of like, oh, you don't need that many people to make a big AAA game. Yes, you do. I'm not saying you say this, but I'm saying that's the idea that kind of throwing around there.
There's a lot of wiggle room
even so, the thing is that, you can make very nice looking games, but it's also all about scope and also leveraging what external partners you have. A lot of things people don't talk about these days is how many of these studios actually outsource to places in China to author assets. Asset creation is stupidly expensive, and to have that many people in-house making fucking trees and sidewalks, that's a lot of man hours, a lot of money. So they'll hire out a company possibly out in China. In fact, the guys that did Black Myth, the Wukong game that's coming out, that's what they specialized in. They made assets for other games, and they said, "Fuck this shit. We want to make our own game."
Yeah.
I just want to be clear the point that we're making, right? So you guys are saying,
who's you guys?
You and Manny, seem to be defending the idea that the corporate structure and all the gigantic inflated salaries that they're making are justified and needed. Because when I said that there's bloat in that area, that's what I was talking about, and y'all are pushing back on me. So I just want to be clear. We're talking about.
Manny, let me finish.
We are talking about inflated corporate bloat and overinflated salaries in the corporate overseer, kind of fucking within the middle management and up. That's what I'm talking about, because these are the people that got retired. Right?
Okay, fair enough.
So no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page now.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying that at all.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I just don't want.
I was saying the whole time.
No, but you were making it. You were making it.
Attacking, the developers and the people fucking developing sidewalks and shit.
Okay, but again, I just don't like the, I know, again, you're not perpetuating this, but a lot of people seem to think, you don't need that many people to make a big AAA game. Yeah, you do. And yes, you do need a lot of money.
You need a lot. But you know how many fucking unnecessary... There are people in there who are straight up unnecessary. There are people in there who are hiding between talent. And there are corporate roles that are just unnecessary. And they're overinflated talent.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There are some roles which I'm not going to say on air because I'll get canceled that are like, this is completely fucking unnecessary. And then they get credits in the games like, why? No, so Brett, I'm with you. Yes, you know, it would be good if they could like reorganize, but that's probably not going to happen because that when you get to that big stage, it's very hard to pivot and change your structure, you know?
That's literally what we're talking about right here.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about
that's literally what happened right here.
Is it though? Like, we're gonna, you know, again, but you even said that you don't think it's going to change anything in the long run.
No. Well, that was before I kind of figured out the this is what I was hearing about. I reserve the right to change my answer based on new information.
This is not Twitter. This is true. This is true.
So since I'm like, okay, so that's what we're talking about. No, I think this is highly necessary. I think they trimmed the fat and took control of Xbox Studios, which they needed to fucking do. Like I said, this whole new age stepdad hippie, just do what you want, feel creative, and as long as everybody's feeling good, we're feeling good. Like, no, motherfucker. Like, results. I'm a results oriented person, right? Redfall is not acceptable.
I'm gonna say this. I don't think the thing about it. I think for a situation like Redfall, I don't think it was only just a situation of let the artists do what they need to do. There was genuinely a problem. They didn't release that game, you know, and they all had all the telltale signs. They knew exactly the state of that game when it was going out. It wasn't just like all of a sudden they just whoa, this was a bad game. I think in general, it was a situation where it was so fucking far gone they couldn't cancel that game.
All right,
so they said, "All right, let's put it out.
Part of me
can get out of this piece of shit."
I hope that if they would have gotten involved sooner, that they could have pivoted or internally canceled it.
The game was already in development by the time Microsoft came into the thing. So the way they're looking at it is like, oh fuck, we don't have any goddamn games. All right, this one seems to be really close to complete. All right, I'll put that thing out. Oh fuck, it's got all kinds of. I mean, put it out anyway. Fuck it, whatever.
The fans don't like it.
It's already been paid for the most part. So let's just put this piece of shit out there and see what we can squeeze out of that fucking orange.
Regardless of Redfall, I still think having more oversight than they had. You don't need to be impressive, but having more oversight than they've had over Xbox Studio games is going to be necessary if they ever hope to. Not saying that they are. If they ever hope to in the future compete with the likes of PlayStation, they need some fucking quality control.
Yeah.
Thing about it,
I just feel like.
Okay.
Go ahead, Carlos.
I just feel like you're over assuming, Brett, because all we have is people and titles.
Yeah, we don't know anything yet. Like, where's the fruits of these labor? We're not going to see it for years, you know. So I maintain my original stance. I don't think this is going to change anything, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. The way I move on. I don't want to stay on this question any longer.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. The way I sort of see this sort of thing is like, okay, yeah, we have a little bit. There's a little bit more, you know, information coming down the line to, you know, keep the thing of it. But I also see this as possibly it could be a squeeze on creativity. Again, Microsoft is notoriously known for canceling games that would have been pretty damn interesting. So it could just be, it could at one aim, yeah, there's more oversight, but it could also mean at the same time, Bethesda just becomes the Starfield, the Starfield Oblivion studio. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
He's not wrong. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. All right, another question here, completely on a different topic. Both PlayStation and Xbox have recently made brilliant use of the Sphere in Las Vegas. Can each of you think of one game that you were initially uninterested in that you ended up buying because the marketing campaign was so effective?
I don't see that Sphere as anything but just what do they call it? It's a novelty.
Man, you have another word for it. Gimmick.
Yeah, it's a gimmick. It's a wiener. Who the fuck? Like, the only way you're gonna see that fucking sphere is if you're in the air or in a high hotel. Who the fuck on the ground's gonna see that shit? It's only.
No, you can see it from the street.
I mean, yeah, but like again, it's like, who are you advertising to? It's not anywhere like yeah. It looks nice on the skyline and all that other shit. But to be honest, it's all it is. It's it's just that it's not going to make me buy anything over something else.
But the question's not asking about that in particular. He's just using it as an example.
He's giving his answer. Yeah, because I agree. I genuinely agree with Manny. I think it's a stupid thing. Although my thing is, you want to redeem yourself in my eyes. Put some blitzball on that shit. It's calling for that. That is literally blitzball. You know. Anyway, to answer the question directly, no, that's never happened. There's been games that I may have doubted that a friend recommended to me that I played out, but I never had an instance where the marketing made me interested in a game I wasn't interested in. That's never happened because I kind of marketing to me kind of goes in one ear out the other. You know, literally. I mean, I see fucking ads everywhere. I've had to train myself to just not look at this shit. So
here's the thing.
No.
Like if I'm sold on a property,
if I'm already sold, I'm already there. You know,
if I'm already sold on a property, I'm like, hey, that's cool. There's a big old Kingdom Hearts ad sitting in the train station, but that's not that ad that's sitting in the train station or any of the things that you see on the TV for the most part. And like right now, we barely watch any commercials, anyways. I really not if Amazon isn't going to get through with it. But anyway, you know, like it doesn't really sell me on those sorts of things.
Me either. Never. That's never happened to me. Brett, has that ever happened to you? A game that you were not interested in and you saw like a really interesting ad for it, and you decided to pick it up?
Yeah.
I'm sitting down. Even though I'm already sitting down. Tell me a story.
Bro, I was in no way interested in this. I don't even know what to call it. Like this fucking weird, obscure, hardcore weeaboo game called fucking Monster Hunter. And then I fucking saw the trailer for the new Monster Hunter. And I immediately went like, oh shit, I'm in.
See, Brett, now I'm wondering if that's also my answer. But there's a but here's a caveat, but it also kind of it's the same. That happened to me because Monster Hunter, it's like I kind of dismissed my Monster or whatever. But when I went to E3 and I saw that 20-minute demo, I'm like, oh shit. But it's different, but it's the same.
You got to see, but here's the thing. But it was the same video. It is marketing.
No, it's the same video Brett saw. No, it was not hands-on. It's literally the same video everybody else saw.
So that was technically marketing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, so I guess that's my answer with an asterisk. Although I will say, and Brett, I don't know about you, but I've always wanted to get into Monster Hunter. It's just the games have been shitty. You know? I was waiting.
You told me Monster Hunter World was coming out. I'm like, meh. You showed me the trailer or that demo. I was like, oh shit. Okay. This game's got hands. Now we're playing with fire. All right.
Yeah. I think it counts, man. Because again, I literally saw the same trailer you did. Man, you remember that fucking year we went to E3? All we saw were trailers. We're like, why are you flying 6 hours to this fucking event to see trailers I can see at home?
Watch trailers.
You know.
That is. Yeah. I would say traditional marketing, like billboards and those novelties like the Sphere stuff. I would say, or commercials. Those don't do it for me. But I would say seeing legitimate gameplay does. And I guess that would be considered, part of the marketing, because it is marketing to let people know that what this game looks like and plays like. I feel like that is more of a convincing matter than, just a sizzle video, a 2 seconds of sizzle video they'll show at the Super Bowl. That doesn't sell me or anything.
Here's my question.
I'm secretly convinced.
Well, go ahead, Brett, because I have a question. You guys inspired a question right now. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm secretly convinced that stuff, Manny, isn't meant to sell stuff. It's just meant to kind of like, after repeatedly seeing it here and there and somewhere else and another 2 second clip, it starts to feel, what's the word? Pervasive?
Yeah.
Is that it? It starts to feel pervasive.
No, dude. Here's the thing. Like, that sort of marketing doesn't work for us, but it does work for
regular people.
For regular people.
Yeah, because they're inundated by it, and then it just keeps getting into the head. They're like, I need to get this now.
It's
yep. That works.
I would say, people, I would say for as far as gamers, what does the selling?
It's not Logic Win just said for casuals, the sphere might be effective. He's not wrong.
Yes. No, that's it right there. That is impressive to people who are not like gamers. Like, I mean, gamers, hey, it looks cool, but I think that's more effective. And obviously being in Las Vegas, which is casual, capital of the world, right? People, vacationers and all kinds of other stuff so for them, those things work.
Yeah. All right, Logic Wins. We're going to see if you read my mind, because he's like, oh, I think I know what Tony's thinking. Here's my question, right? To that end, where do streamers come into the picture, right? Let's say you heard about this game, you weren't interested in it, you watch a motherfucker stream it and you buy it. Is that a form of this?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because most of the thing about it is as opposed to the video, them demoing the game, it's somebody, this well-known streamer that has a lot of viewers. It's essentially
look at Fatality playing Call of Duty. Yeah,
it's literally willingly watching commercials, like literally watching an ad campaign.
Yeah, you're right about that. I know some motherfucker in the chat. Some motherfucker in the chat right now. Fatality. Tony, that's 20 years ago, you old bastard.
What thing about it is like, how do you that's the new platform now. It's like, obviously that's the same reason why Game Awards is not a Game Award show. It's a commercial show, because people they want to keep, essentially it's a advertising, a video game advertising block that people would willingly watch, the same as streamers.
Oh, Brett, you'll like this question, man. Actually, this comment. Logic Win says, I believe influencers and streamers sold a lot of casuals on Elden Ring. Man, I don't think he's wrong about that.
Yeah,
I definitely. No, I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, I think a lot of those, just seeing influencers doing these sorts of games definitely is part of the advertising thing. And to be honest, that's most likely why these studios roll the red carpet for these people, because they do more to sell their games than the actual journalists do.
It's a fact. Yeah, because journalists are there to be critical. These guys and influencers are there to be hype men. That's why when we go to events, 80% of those people there are influencers nowadays. They don't want us dirty fucking journalists shitting on their game. They want the hype men. I'll say this, right? I went to this one. Man, I can say, man, you remember the Contra event went to? I was one of the few fucking journalists there. It was, the rest was just hype dudes. It's hilarious. Kishak goes, streamers have no effect on me when I purchase games. I know what I like. Yeah, I'm the same way. But I don't watch stream. I'm like, again, I'm still like, why would you want to watch a game being played by somebody? That makes no fucking sense to me. Although I know why, because people like that sense of community and all that with the streamer and all that, and the people watching. I get that. Yeah. It's just for me. I don't give a fuck about that. I know what I like, so I don't need that kind of thing. But to some people, that works. I would say to a lot of people, that fucking works. That's why these influencers are so big, So yeah, that is a form of advertising. Blitz, what's going on, brother? Hold on. I know he had a comment here answering the question, actually. For him, it was Gears of War. I was Mr. PlayStation, and was certainly I'd be PlayStation 3 one day. I'd heard rumblings of Gears, but I had no interest in the 360. Then I started running at a show with trailer, and next thing I had a 360, then picked up Gears day one. There you go, man. There you go.
That's my answer. I mean, Gears of War, and all I needed. Yeah, all I needed was that trailer. Yep.
Yeah, the roadie run got the tattoo.
Adam adores that title.
Adam was hyping up Gears of War before Gears of War was even announced. Like that's how real it is.
He legitimately loves that title.
Throwdown, is that why the influencers get paid more? I mean, yeah, think about it like this. Journalists are forbidden from taking money from advertisers. These motherfuckers are encouraged to. There's the difference.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Why do you think what is it? The Microsoft streaming service pulled over what's his face for like a year, right?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Ninja.
Was it It was Ninja. Yeah, they pulled Ninja over for like their platform for like a year or two, and then when the thing ran out, he opened back his usual Twitch thing. Yeah, no, those guys get paid really good money.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
those
and
sponsors,
it's like,
they get millions.
Again,
you know,
we constantly hear about people, you know, accusing journalists of taking money.
We would be fired if that happened, man.
Yes. Yeah,
we would be fired. There's code of ethics we got to adhere by. Instead of these fucking influencers who have to hear the shit, you know?
Yeah, like, what is it? Journalistic integrity and all that other good stuff. Because people who are writing these things are held to a higher standard than the people that are essentially just living advertisement panels.
Yeah, man. Oh, God. There's something else I was saying. Oh, yeah. Blitz. We can't answer your question tonight because no Chris. So he's not feeling well. So hopefully, you know, when he gets back on Thursday, we can answer your Microsoft. He wanted to know about the Microsoft financials, but Chris needs to do a complete breakdown because Microsoft just lumps everything into one. There's no like, here's the Xbox numbers. Microsoft doesn't do that. So he needs extra work. But yeah, so we can't answer that tonight. So apologies. All right, moving on. Alpha Chuck in the house. So the last two guys here are Alpha Chuck and Mob Hits. They both have 3 questions, so we'll answer all 3 of theirs. First one, Alpha Chuck. Several of us in the chat have picked up the Metal Gear Solid collection this week, and the first game I played was Metal Gear Solid 1. For a 25-year-old game, it holds up surprisingly well. What games do you feel have stood the test of time the best?
All the SNES classics.
I was just about to say that. Like, SNES games really have held up well, man. You know, games from that era specifically, you know?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of I feel like a lot of the 3D era type games, you know, like after Nintendo, obviously those things look, you know, some of those games are impressive, but like like the Super Nintendo, Genesis era, those hold up pretty well because they're stylized games. I would say in the PlayStation era, it's very iffy.
Yeah,
at the beginning,
the early 32-bit days. Yeah,
the early 32-bit days. But when you get to PlayStation 2 era, most of those games hold up. Like I would say, like, you know, Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, you know, any of the, you know, those titles from that era all look pretty damn decent for what they are. Like what we're saying, like old games that like still hold up.
I mean, those are old games now. You know.
No. I'm saying, like, you know, like a different era. I mean, like I would agree with everybody on the Super Nintendo Genesis, the 16-bit era.
Me personally, I would lean even more towards the Super Nintendo part of it. Because some of those Genesis games, even back then, were a little rough around the edges when it comes to graphics and sound, you know?
It always depended on the studio, too. Yeah. Like, some of them, like, they could squeeze some really nice shit out of it.
Yeah, like Aladdin still looks fucking nice. You know, all those
like
Disney
Aladdin
games,
looks great.
Those Disney games still look good.
You know, the Virgin Disney games, they all look great.
Yeah, but SNES, man, a lot of those games still look good because they hit that sweet spot of they look better than NES games. Some NES games have not held up very well. They look better than that, but since they're stylized stuff kind of holds up better over time than like everything that tried to be quote unquote 3D realistic. Because there's always going to be something better that's going to look more realistic than you. Then you're going to look like shit, you know.
That's why Metal Gear Solid held up so well.
Yeah, because it was stylized.
Yeah.
It was. You know, I mean, the only thing you could really say about that game is that, you know, not the polygons, but the texture work is a little bit thing. I feel like if you had some pretty decent texture work on there and you got rid of that texture warping stuff, it might be a pretty good looking game on there.
I always had the sense that Metal Gear Solid 1 was trying to, in its own way, trying to be like emulate the Shinkawa art style, you know?
Oh no, that's what it was, because they were trying to, they were attempting to use light and shadow to sort of hide a slight stylization to hide the limitation of the characters. The fact their mouths didn't move, or, you know, like it would just, you know, they looked a little bit more like the Shinkawa stuff. Most definitely.
Yeah, Barry Byrne, yes, thank you for saying that. Till this day, I am not kidding. Every time I see any kind of Mode 7 effect, I'm blown away. I'm like, that's fucking cool. That still holds up. It's a cheesy effect, but it looks so cool, you know? It's like, or not cheesy, it's a simple effect, you know? But Mode 7 is the shit, man. You know, was it when you're playing fucking Pilot Wings and shit? F-Zero, like all these games with that stuff. Contra had it, you know? It's awesome. So yeah, SNES, man. Well, go ahead, Brett.
Does a 14-year-old game count?
Sure.
Is that old enough?
Sure.
I want to throw 3D Dot Game Heroes out there.
Ooh. Which is also very much styled in the old school way, you know?
Yeah, yeah, like that's why it's like it's a half answer.
Yeah. No,
Whereas
I agree.
it's half.
Well, yeah, it's trying to be like an older style game.
Yeah, it's also an easy win because again, since it's a stylized style, it's gonna hold up. You know, I will say this: even fucking Minecraft, that's a new game, but that style is gonna hold up because it already kind of has. You know,
bro, Minecraft is not a new game.
No, oh shit, it isn't, is it?
It's a more recent game.
Yeah, it's a recent-ish game. You know, it's like 10 years old or something. You know. But the point is, Minecraft
it's about as old as Alan Wake.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, good stuff. Next question here. There have been articles about a Bethesda developer stating that they made an internal decision to have Starfield be as large as they did versus making it smaller and more focused. Prior to the game's launch, I did not think a smaller scope would have benefited, but after 60 hours of gameplay, I've changed my mind. Sticking to just one or two solar systems may have allowed more diversity of events and handcrafted content. So the question is, what are your thoughts? What are the thoughts of those who have played the game? Brett, this is for you.
I think that, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in agreement. I think that it would have been better if they focused on fewer systems. I think Baldur's Gate is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, but like I like more densely populated. That being said, I also feel like Cyberpunk is not. It's too diluted. Cyberpunk also needs to be more compacted. So, just putting that into context.
Yeah. All right. Again, Carlos, have you played Starfield yet? You have, right?
Have I? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say about this?
I mean, that was my biggest criticism of the game. I felt, we talked about it ad nauseum at the show. It's like, and Brett always mentions it. It's as wide as an ocean, but as deep as a puddle. And I feel like there's not much. And I talked to you, Tony, about my Cyberpunk experience. Like I felt like that was a perfectly curated game experience.
Yeah.
And Starfield, I feel, is kind of like a little bit of the opposite. It's more of like there's just sparseness of things, and I feel like even the stuff that's kind of curated, like the Citadel. What is it? Neon? Yeah, the city of Neon is probably like the best one. It's probably like the best city for me. But like they almost nailed that one. But everything else, I feel like they could have just used, I don't know, more development, if that makes sense. I just feel like it's like the Citadel in particular. It just feels like it's a, I don't know. It could have been done better, in my opinion. There's just not much to it. The way you traverse it and everything, there's definitely a lot Bethesda could have done to improve on those.
Let me ask you this: is this just a Starfield thing, or is this thing that's something like because, like I said, like I feel like Cyberpunk does the same thing. I don't feel like Starfield is more.
What same thing?
Just being diluted and kind of having this like it kind of has the veneer of something lived in until you look close, and then like everything's too far apart, and the things that are kind of close together, they're just kind of replicas of each other. Like, oh look, it's another it's another general store, or it's another
I
completely disagree about Cyberpunk.
I disagree too. I think that game is very like densely packed. It's not like because again, you have one world that's like has one vision. It's not just a bunch of random planets with nothing on them. You know what I mean? Like you could tell every part of it. Every part of it felt like a cohesive world. Even like the districts will be different, but you could tell this is part of the same world. You could tell there was some thought behind everything. It wasn't just throw some random shit on there. and you know what I'm saying. Like you could tell that like this game feels way deeper than like maybe it actually is. You know, so that sense
I
is
think
there.
that's a different
you know?
thing, though. I think that's disjoint. You're talking about the vibe. You're talking about, and yes, it does have a disjointed feeling that cuts down on the immersion. But I thought we were specifically talking about like how like kind of richly populated a space is. Like Baldur's Gate is not very big, but there is so much going on in that town, right? But like, you know, digital mile for digital mile, I don't feel like there's more going on in most of Cyberpunk than there is, say, like when you're in the Citadel.
Yeah, but what about the rest of the game? Because again, I haven't played Starfield, so I'm not doing it now. But I'm saying, like, doesn't Starfield have like a shit ton of planets instead of just one giant city?
The unpopulated areas, absolutely, and that's I do feel like that's a valid criticism. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm the one off the mark here because, well, can you read the original question for me again? I might have misunderstood.
Yeah. All right. A little long one here. There have been articles about a Bethesda developer stating that they made an internal decision to have Starfield be as large as they did versus making it smaller and more focused. Prior to the game's launch, I did not think a smaller scope would have benefited the game, but after 60 hours, I've changed my mind. Sticking to just one or two solar systems may have a lot more diversity of events and handcrafted content.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that, so, again, I with the knowledge that I haven't played Starfield yet, it just seems, if it's like a regular Bethesda game, I'm pretty sure it's just fucking awesomely and crazily big, right? Huge. And
it doesn't feel like it, no.
But like Cyberpunk is smaller compared to that. Like, again, I don't have Starfield at the moment, but if I'm comparing it to like Fallout 3 and 4, like, Cyberpunk feels smaller and denser and like more focused than those games. But the thing is, that's an appeal though. That's the appeal of Bethesda games. Just here's a huge fucking world. Go nuts. You know, so that's part of the selling point.
It's different, Tony.
Explain.
It's different. Like, okay, so Starfield has kind of this kind of vast emptiness, and like part of that is kind of engineered into the style that they were going for. This whole NASA punk thing like lands on some realism kind of in the same vein of Expanse. So like it feels realistically large and realistically empty in the universe. Like you go to like there are so many solar systems where there's just nothing going on. Everything's, you know, too far or too close to the sun. It's too hot or too cold for anything to really be happening. So all you have is a couple space stations and maybe a couple research stations on a couple dead frozen planets that have very little value other than maybe some mining, which is, you know, it's kind of accurate and it's in the vein. So I guess it's kind of designed to be like that. But I just don't know if it passes the vibe check because it makes it feel very empty. And then there's places like Neon or the Citadel that you go to. And I feel like those areas, they're like the big cities. They're densely populated like a big city in a Bethesda game would be. But that's
where I disagree. I don't think they're densely populated, especially the Citadel. It's just like the way it's designed. I feel like that's the big issue. I feel like it could have used more development, maybe even the entire planet. Not just it's because you go to the planet and it's just one small city that has a few shops.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like the Citadel. I spent most of my time at Neon.
Yeah, Neon is probably the best example of a well-made city in that game. And I think, you know, the Citadel is a main city and by far the biggest disappointment in the game.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Brett.
I was just saying, I haven't really spent much time on it. I can't argue that.
All right. Next question. This one's related. Starfield and similar games get slapped with the descriptor wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. Is there an example of a game that is both wide and deep, or is there always a trade-off?
I think there's always a trade-off.
Yeah.
There has to be.
There always is, yeah.
Yeah, there always is. You can't hit every single angle, right? You can get pretty damn close, but you can't hit every single angle in every game. Even that would mean your scope would literally go out the fucking window.
Yeah,
well,
it
Manny,
costs so much to make.
well, no, you know what that is though, right? A game that's as wide as an ocean, deep as an ocean. It's a Peter Molyneux game.
He's a Peter Molyneux.
It's life.
Oh God,
It's the game. It's the game called Life.
No,
we're playing that game right now.
They exist. They're MMOs.
I mean, I can't argue with Brett on that one. I think that's the answer. MMOs.
Because like an MMO, they're huge, but if you're like, that's cool, I'll jump into it, and you just jump into it, you're like, I have no idea what is going. I don't know what any of these systems are. I don't know how any of these mechanics work. I don't know how any of the craft. Like it's going to take me months just to figure this out, and then beyond that, there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of content here.
Yeah, like
that's a good point.
Sticking with that same thing, when you go into an MMO, you feel like you're drowning.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Yeah. All right, there's your answer. MMOs. There's your answer. Oh man, good stuff. All right, moving on here. Mob hits. This one is an interesting question. Is Alan Wake 2 possibly the best Remedy game ever made? Has anybody in the panel played this fucking game? Because I haven't.
I haven't played it, but I have watched the full gameplay of it. Boy. I'm sorry. I mean, here's the thing. For me, when it comes to Alan Wake, I find the story fascinating, but I don't find the playing of it very fascinating, like interest to me. I will say this. Definitely is an improvement over the original Alan Wake. Like, at least the way the gameplay seems to work. You know, it seems like they got rid of all the little business where you have to change the batteries inside of your flashlight, or you have to, recharge your flashlight, to essentially weaken all the enemies. I definitely think that, and definitely the gunplay seems a lot more a lot more it definitely takes a lot from the recent game Control. As far as I would say, the biggest improvement I would say for that game is definitely the graphics for that game. Like, I didn't really think that they could improve over what they did for over Control, but it definitely, even with its ray tracing abilities off, the game looks immensely good. Like, they're like, because that game uses a lot of like, it's sort of mixed media where they'll have like real footage in there. And then sometimes they'll have like, then it'll be like video, like gameplay, or them overlapping each other. They're really close to each other. Obviously you can still tell what's game graphics, but it's very close. So best Remedy game, I would have to say it is the best, best Remedy game to date for now, until they come up with the next thing, which is probably going to be Max Payne remake.
Now, Manny, they had a strong black female in this, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure you weren't a bigot, because if you had said otherwise, I'm sorry, that would have made you a bigot.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, like as far as the character, I mean, as far as the new characters, the only complaint I could say about that game is some of the voice acting is a little bit like hokey, especially compared to the content that's going on in there. I wouldn't say Alan Wake, but I would say she's a little bit weak as far as like, performances go.
I think a lot will be forgiven for her, but like, let me ask, like, I think the critical question I think is gonna, like, not for me, but I like, from what I've read, this is gonna sway a lot of people. Like, how much do you play Alan Wake and how much do you play the new character? Is it 50-50? Is it kind of leaning more one way?
You can, it's sort of a 50-50. You reach a sort of point where you can do a handoff. You can play Alan Wake and you can play her, and you can pretty much finish well. And then, then vice versa. It does all kinds of switching around. But you can actually willingly go and play a bunch of Alan Wake stuff. But I think the reasoning why they did insert this character in is because they wanted a somewhat of a blank slate, because it's literally been like 10 years since the previous game. or 10
What?
years or more. So
Well,
I feel like they threw a ringer character in there so that everybody could start explaining things to her, and obviously her figuring things out.
Well, but that sounds great. Like, it sounds like they're giving you the option to play as whichever character you want for a good portion of the game. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, they have like two different campaigns. Like, or they have not two different campaigns. They have two simultaneous campaigns that sort of like intertwine with each other. So
Okay.
you can choose to play Alan's stuff, and then it will definitely coalesce with things that are happening on her side and vice versa. So
I think that'll fly pretty well. I say that
Yeah.
not like the internet's going to catch on fire.
no, I
Hate
mean
on it, but-
they definitely you can definitely see that they spent a lot of time on this sort of like, mystery sort of solving section of the game, where I think that's probably to sort of maybe help people, like if the story's a little complicated. There's these sort of things where you can kind of play these sort of mind games with your character, and she can kind of like look at this wall, and it pretty much, as she puts things in order, it sort of almost sort of clarifies certain things that are going within the plot. So in other words, like you could, like, if you like, obviously you have to play these things, but I feel like it's better. It's more of an interactive way of plotting. Kind of like almost like reading the descriptions in the weaponry in Demon Souls, except you kind of have to do this thing to sort of push the story forward. But I feel like at least with those things, it sort of clears up a lot of the complicated parts of the of like this sort of overlapping plot points in the game with the So I thought it was a very, very cool looking title. But again, it's like one of the things I'm not really that interested, like gameplay wise, to play.
So, Benny, did you watch it streaming?
No, I didn't watch it streaming. I just, how like video game guys go, they'll literally like an hour after the game, maybe like 2 or 3 hours after the game got released, they just post it on a YouTube or whatever. So I found the best looking one and just sort of run while I was working.
You know how those goes. Alan Wake 2 full playthrough part 1, shit like that.
Yeah, the Alan Wake full playthrough, or Alan Wake 2 the movie. But I would say if you're going to watch a full gameplay of that game, watch the full version, because there's a lot of additional stuff that's in the game that that the cinematics don't even cover, and those little mind palace parts sort of cover.
I think the internet will be happy. I just saw a lot of rumblings about people being concerned that there wasn't going to be very much Alan Wake in their Alan Wake game. Yeah. So it's good to hear that.
There's a lot of Alan Wake. There's definitely a lot of Alan Wake, and there's a lot of people talking about Alan Wake in the game. So, no, I think it's fine.
Jay Shep says, I might have to pull a Manny and watch some gameplay. Me and horror games don't mix well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with horror games.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's definitely a lot more horror-y than the first one was. Like, they really try to get you on this one.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah. But yeah, a lot of really, and again, like really nice looking graphics. They do some cool stuff in there. And you get some fun revelations and stuff like that. Ooh.
Revelations.
Remember
that fucking misspelled fucking Assassin's Creed Revelations thing? I'm like, Ubisoft, what are you doing, man? I know you're French, but Jesus.
Okay, so I would say for definitely this game is a lot more definitely a lot more open to newer players as far as gameplay. I feel like, at least from what I've seen, it doesn't seem as cumbersome as the previous one. Like as far as like gunplay and all that stuff. So I definitely think that they took a lot from Control.
Yeah, cool. All right, so there you go, Alan Wake 2, people. All right, next up, Mob hits another one. Rumors claim PlayStation is backpedaling on its roadmap of service games, with a sign of this being the reportedly axed Last of Us factions. Will this backfire on PlayStation or help it develop other non-service based games? Again, this is something else I haven't heard. Is this true, or is this a rumor? Or what's up with this?
I haven't heard much about this, but to be honest, like it's something I definitely would hopefully wish they would do more.
Yeah,
double down on the
if
things
this
that they're
rumor is
good
true,
at.
I hope it's true because 10 service. Oh, by the way, I'm my manners, man, my manners. Brian, welcome, sir. Waiting for Brian to show up.
My fuck manners.
Oh, that's all right. I'm guessing it's like fucking daylight savings times over there. You know, every year, daylight savings time, Brian shows up an hour late. So I love it. You know, so I'm guessing we're probably gonna have hours pretty soon too. You know, it's the good daylight savings time, not the bad one. You know. Anyway, what the fuck were you even talking about? Oh yeah, okay. So again, I don't know anything about this rumor, but if Sony is like apparently backtracking on some of these service games, good. 10 live service games? Are you fucking kidding me? You know, like come on now. How many of those are going to be successful? But again, like I said before, when it was already announced, they only need one to be successful. You know, they only need one. They just need one Fortnite and they're good. You know, but that's also the problem because you got too many of these fucking dumbass games. So I don't see how it could be a backlash at all. I think it'll be good. I think, you know, I don't know if this is just wishful thinking on my part, but it seems to me like, you know, live service games are like on the decline as far as like gamers are concerned, you know?
I mean, here's the thing.
And I know Fortnite is the biggest fucking, I understand that.
But
you know?
even a juggernaut like Epic Games fired a shitload of people.
This is true.
And so their cash cow is starting to lose money.
Are you trying to say their cash cow is coming up dry?
Yeah, it's coming up dry a little bit because again, like how much money, like you look at it, like how much money are they spending to do licensing? Like I'm not talking about the general stuff, but like licensing to get like Marvel characters, to get Bad Bunny or any of these dudes, any of these people to show up in their stuff. What they're probably spending more than they're probably making it. They probably looked at it and like, oh God, we got to do something about this. So how many people did they let go of? It was a pretty hefty amount of people. It wasn't 800, right?
I'm not sure about the number. I don't know.
Don't quote me on that. But anyway, it was a big number that they had let go, and they literally said in their thing why some of the stuff was happening is like certain things aren't doing as well as they thought. So that means that it's coming up. The Fortnite cash cow's coming up a little dry. Maybe people are just like, I'm good with this. We don't need to keep going back to that. So
yeah, I don't think it'll hurt Sony at all. Go ahead, Brett.
I have doubts.
What's up?
I doubt the validity of the okay, so here's the thing. Not actually like a debate or anything like that, but I'm not sure if you've ever read Wizard's First Rule, but Wizard's First Rule that you got to watch out for is people are stupid. They'll believe things because they're afraid or because they want to. So that's always one thing you want to watch out for. And the other thing here is the sunk cost fallacy, right? Like meaning that people or companies have less chance to deviate from something the more that they've invested in. So knowing that and being wary of kind of that first one, I'm kind of the mindset of like, I don't, until this is substantiated, this sounds like a highly suspect rumor to me.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a highly suspect. Yes, a highly suspect, but yeah, like, I mean, I can definitely see them because again, like Sony is the master of the toe dips, right? If they start seeing the industry start to push away a little away from these sort of service games, they're gonna like start pulling the belt tight and knocking out all the ones that aren't really working out.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't think this rumor, again, it's just a rumor, so take it how it is. I don't think it sounds so outlandish because Sony could usually be like, you can get rid of 3 of these fucking games,
That's exactly the reason that I'm wary of it. Like, people want that to be true. People want them to be like, we've shifted gears. Like, companies don't like throwing away investment that way. They're really generally
Warner Brothers does.
Yeah, we
Warner
I think
Brothers does.
Yeah, but that yeah.
With Batgirl and what was it? What was
That
the other
is
one? The Flash.
Yeah, they canceled
That
an
is
entire
very
ass
true.
movie. The movie
Those
was
were
done.
considered tax write-offs.
Yep.
Those things.
That is very true. I'm just this sounds like one of those things that it's something that you want to believe is true so much that I'm like, that'd be a very easy rumor to start. Like somebody could just whisper the wrong way, and like that shit would spread like wildfire because everybody wants it to be true. Everybody wants them to pivot. Nobody wants Sony's future to be service-based games.
Yeah. But like you said, it's a rumor, so we can't really speak too much on it.
Just a rumor. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. And the last question.
I think it speaks to the fan base, though. I was supposed to say. I think it speaks to the fan base. The fact that so many people are kind of spreading excited about that shows that.
Are they excited?
Even the hard.
Brett, are they excited? Because again, I'm literally just reading this right now. So, have you seen excitement about this?
Well, rumors generally spread when because again, like people are interested, like they're excited or afraid of said news, right?
Okay.
Like,
so you just assuming they were excited.
Well, yeah, if the rumor is spreading, it's probably people being excited, not people being afraid. Like, oh no, Sony's going to pivot away from their live service games. Nobody's saying that shit. So everybody who's talking about this is talking about it in an excited fashion. I think that's. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. Again, I haven't seen excitement because I literally am just learning about this story now.
I mean, these here's the last thing on this. I mean, here's the thing. Like, you had 10 titles, 10 first party, of these titles. 10 of these titles that are not out. They've been talking about for a while now, and the only substantial first party things that we can really talk about is like maybe. Like 2 companies are putting out things. 2 of their big first parties. You have Insomniac and what is it? And Guerrilla Games. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know where this rumor came from.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, that's what I want to know too. It's like, is it just some ass?
Where did it come from?
Like,
who knows?
Blah 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 from Reddit says, "Oh yeah, let's trust that guy," or even worse, this YouTuber said it. Okay, bro, sure. I would say that's why I hate when that shit. I was like this crazy rumor starts spreading. Like YouTuber blah blah says, immediately dismiss that shit.
How is that? How can you even confirm really? That? Unless that person has some real ties to anybody in the industry. But to be honest, it's just people tossing stuff out there because they want to will them into existence.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, respect to the guy, but if Yanya said he had a scoop, I'm like, I'm not trusting you, Like, you're a YouTuber,
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you, Jay. It came from... Wait. Is it fucking... not NeoGaf. What's the name of NeoGaf now? Reset Era. Did it come from Reset Era? Is that where it came from? Whatever. Let's move on. Here.
So yeah, if it's from Resetter,
if it's from a forum, yeah, I mean, NeoGaf used to have shit back in the day, but like Reset Era, it's bullshit. All right, last question of the night. Which of the big 3, Nintendo, Microsoft, and PlayStation, will win big this holiday season?
Win big?
Yeah, win big. Yeah.
Which one will win big? I'm going to go with Nintendo and Sony.
Yeah. Well, you mean the obvious ones?
I'll go with the 2 obvious ones because I'm totally going. What's his face? Michael Pachter on y'all.
Okay.
telling everybody the obvious.
Yeah. But the thing is, let's break it down. What does each have this holiday season?
Well, Sony just released a big title with Spider-Man, and they got a whole new console coming. At least the refresh version of the console coming up in November. The rumor is November 10th. We'll see.
Oh, for the Slim.
Yeah, for the pre-order for the Slim.
And take it how you will. The fuck
Take out how you will.
No. Take out how you will. No. That's actually. I heard that's actually correct.
That's
this is what I
okay.
mean. This is what I mean. Take out how you will. The Portal that's coming out. You know
what's that?
The Portal, the fucking bullshit handheld's coming out.
Oh yeah, the PlayStation Portal. We'll see. It's still available. You can go buy. You can buy that piece of garbage on PlayStation site right now.
But the internet claims that they're sold out everywhere.
No, you can go buy one fucking now, man.
Yeah. PlayStation expects to have a big holiday season based on the reports, says Jay Shep. Everybody expects a big holiday, though. Let's just be honest.
They all say that. That's just media garbage.
They all say that. You know, nobody's going to go, we don't expect to have a big holiday. Then no one's going to say that, you know?
You know, I feel like, well, you know, here's the thing, like, I don't know what Nintendo has in the pipeline come this November. But I feel like if they put out they start advertising the Mario Wonder and maybe whatever else they got, I think they'll do fine. Like, you know, Nintendo's in that blue ocean, I guess. So
yeah, they do their own thing.
People love it.
But obviously the more interesting question, will Xbox have a chance this holiday season? So I don't know.
No.
The biggest game of the year for it came out months ago already, you know?
Yeah, it was Redfall.
And again, take this how you will. It got it's not Redfall, but take it how you will. I don't even see people talking about this game anymore. People talked about it a lot when
Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield. No one's talking about it as much anymore. You know.
Yeah, it's sort of weird how the buzz has sort of kind of moved to. Brett, it's moved to Baldur's Gate.
It hasn't moved. It hasn't moved. Baldur's Gate has remained consistent. This game has not stopped being popular since before.
But anyway,
I
feel like when the Baldur's when Starfield did drop, there was definitely like the hype and people talking about blah blah blah. But then I sort of think like after it sort of ran its course, then the Baldur's Gate stuff got louder.
Yeah, probably.
Dude, I feel like.
But go ahead.
I honestly feel like that happened to both Starfield and Spider-Man. It just feels like this crazy fucking upset. Like, both of these big games come out. Which one are you talking about? Neither, motherfucker. I'm talking about Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
To
be fair, though, Spider-Man is still getting talked about just because it's newer. It's like a week old or whatever. But no, you're right. Baldur's Gate has taken up the bandwidth this year, and I still predict that's going to be the game of the year at the Keeley Awards. I predict that's going to be the game right there. You know,
I think it's hilarious. Remember when they're like, "This game is not going to set a standard and spark new discussions for gaming going forward." Flash to now, and it's still like that's just going to take game of the year in some circles at least over big AAA games. And yes, that will definitely change the discussion around fucking video games. It just reminds me of the fucking Dean in Community of this better not awaken something in me. Like it is absolutely astounding and hilarious and awesome how it's just this the year it's all about Baldur's Gate this year.
Yep.
Nobody saw it. Like Brian and I did. Brian, did you see that coming? I knew it was going to be big. I didn't know it was going to be that big. I don't think anybody saw it was going to be that big.
Brian's here in spirit, I guess.
Oh no, I'm here.
There he is.
No, I did not see how that game's going to blow up that big. Like I knew that there's going to be some substance to it. Because again, it's the sequel to Baldur's Gate 2, so there'll be that. But I didn't expect it to be this big.
Also, can we kind of not use this game as it's like a little engine that could? Because this is at the end of the day, it is $100 million game.
Yeah, like we talked about this before. It had everything it needed to be successful. It was already in place, and it had a lot of unique circumstances as well. You know, but still, it's pretty remarkable. Again. This just my Twitter feed, so it's it's not indicative of everything. But no motherfuckers have not stopped talking about this game for months. It's incredible, you know.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Tony. This is going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah, easily
for most of the awards, even.
Yeah, it's going to
likely the Keeley Awards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Each one of the titles that have the bigger titles that have released this year are going to get something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're going to get something.
And then there's going to
be sham.
Yeah, I definitely. You see it before. Every single one of there has never been a true upset. Like every other, like the games that didn't get Game of the Year category, they often have are in another category and they end up winning. So I even think to be like if Baldur's Gate doesn't win the RPG category they have, and it gets, they give the gimme over to Final Fantasy because it was another RPG that came out, money bet that it's going to win the Game of the Year. Because Keighley is never not going to give one of those high profile games something.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be Baldur's Gate. By the way, I got to read this comment. Yeah. Richard Bailey Jr. He goes, Carlos got a lot of games to play in his backlog. He better not think about joining a Game of the Year discussion until he plays Baldur's Gate 3. He's calling you out. He's calling you out.
Well, I will when Richard decides to play Starfield.
Uh-oh.
Rich, you still need to play Starfield.
Yeah. By the way, J Shep asked, "Where's the Xbox version of Baldur's Gate?"
It's coming.
It's coming.
I don't know when the date is.
It's over there at Sam's house.
Now that Sarah Bond and Matt Booty got promoted, maybe they'll do something about it.
Oh no, they just come. I find it hilarious, and it's like not a good look, but they just cut the Series S version loose like a fucking sandbag from a hot air balloon that was going down. They're like, no, we won't go anywhere without the Series S. We'll go down with the Series S. They went, okay, you're losing out, so they went, fucking bye, cut the rope and watch them plummet, man. Because we're not getting a Series S version of Baldur's Gate. They just couldn't make it happen with the. Oh no, wait, it was the multiplayer. That's what it was. It was the multiplayer that got just fucking cut. Like, we couldn't make it work, so you don't get it.
Yeah.
Which, not a good look, but it's at least coming now. So, that's a small condolence. I already bought that shit on PlayStation.
Well, the thing about it, man, it's like they couldn't figure it out because they had that because they're dragging that dead weight.
Yeah,
that dead weight is making them more money, unfortunately.
Oh, and not just that. To have it so publicly being drugged by dead weight, like it is a clear example that you can point to about how the Series S is holding the Xbox back.
Yep,
and it started a whole discussion that Microsoft did not want people having. It's not good. It is orders of magnitude of not good beyond, I think, what they were expecting. Because, like, we could talk all day about, is the Series S hypothetically hindering the Xbox? Now we can straight up point to it and be like, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Caused a problem, and directly negatively affected their user base. There is no denying that shit was a fuck up, and there is no denying that the Albatross was the Series S. So not only was it a bad take, but it's a bad look.
I agree. Rich says it's possible they could announce it at the Game Awards, but that will get overshadowed by whatever else is announced at the show. Would that'd be hilarious? Baldur's Gate 3 for Xbox, and that's at the fucking Game Awards. Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean
that would be both good and embarrassing.
Yeah. I don't know a non-embarrassing way out of this situation, man.
I don't know, man.
Other than like quietly being like, "Yeah, it's coming out of it's over here."
Yeah, they should just release it and not even say nothing. It's like when is it coming out? It's been out, man. Where you been?
Yeah, it's right there.
Right there. What are you talking about? It's been out, man. Like how long it's been out? It's been out. It's been out. Go get it. Xbox Series S. Oh, man, what a fuck up, man. What a colossal fuck up. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Thank you. By the way, quick shout out to you guys for holding it down while I was out. The show keeps going on Throwdown. We don't take breaks around Throwdown, man. We give you
can't stop. Don't stop.
Yeah, 100 episodes a year guaranteed, baby. So good stuff. We hope you guys enjoyed the shows and all that good jazz. And I don't think I'll be out for the rest of the year. So there you go. Unless something else happens, but we shall see. Anyway, do we have any plugs?
I'll make it quick.
Carlos?
I am Negan on the coalition.com or Coalition YouTube. That's the Coalition with the K. It's a Walking Dead podcast with myself, Adam Vale, and Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
Yes.
We'll be talking about Fear the Walking Dead, which is coming to an end, thankfully. So yeah, I am Negan. Make sure to check it out on all the podcasting applications.
I am Negan, a great podcast series, you know?
It definitely is.
All right, man. That's going to do it for us. So make sure you follow Throwdown, Twitch, and Twitter. Join the Discord with conversations. What happened? What the fuck? I got thrown off. What's up?
Sorry. Aren't you gonna plug your Invincibles?
Oh shit! I forgot about that. This is how fucking off I am.
Dude, I'm gonna try and be there, so I want you to plug that shit.
Oh yes, thank you for reminding. I completely fucking forgot about Invincible. The Invincible podcast is back, people. Back on the Coalition. So we will have a brand new episode for you on Saturday. After Invincible premieres on Friday. So it'll be me, Carlos, Chris, Dana, Richard, and Brett Murdoch. So that should be cool. So yeah, Brett, I'll keep in the loop. But yes, I would love for you to join us. That'd be great. You know, probably Saturday early afternoonish. So keep your schedule open.
Cool.
Yes, I'll let you know. But yeah, thank you for. I completely forgot. You know, try and get back into the swing of things, people. You know. Anyway, Throwdown, we're on every podcast app, Throwdown Show, throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. And if you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the videos, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. And since Twitch has apparently changed its rules about streaming, we may be coming to you back streaming on YouTube again. We just got to figure out some of the logistics. So we're going to be streaming hopefully in other places, not just Twitch. So thank you, Twitch, for easing that, you know? So that'll be cool. Maybe those guys that left, those guys that left will come back. Yeah. We literally had half our audience leave us because we weren't on YouTube. How crazy is that? You know, it's like,
yeah. So, we have our, obviously we still have our premieres, but the premiere would most possibly change. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, we got to work out the logistics, but now that we saw, because I saw that announcement right before I went to Hawaii, I'm like, oh, we got to put a pin on that. We got to do something on this, you know. The only restriction is they said they don't want the experience to be lessened for the Twitch people. Right, so we got to figure that out, because if there's like multiple conversations happening, multiple platforms, that would technically affect people. But we'll figure something out, you know. Anyway,
maybe you know, even if we have to give you YouTube folks and your Twitch guys your own little fucking chat sitting on the screen, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, I mean, it's all going to come up on our end here. I guess we'll have to go to Streamlabs again. Anyway, we'll worry about that when we need to worry about that.
We'll work it out.
Yeah. Anyway, links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
Call me the champion of light, and I'll show you the herald of darkness.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Manjoma.
Love some farmers.
Oh, man. All right, people, we will see you on Thursday. Later.
Laters.
Peace.